It's one final time for Jimmie Johnson this season. You changed it from chasing 8 to one final time. What was the purpose of that?
I just kind of realized in December what led to my decision in October to make 2020 my final year. And part of that was that I started chasing a statistic, which I've never done in my career. I've always just shown up with my helmet and raced and left it on the track. And then the last couple of years with the challenges we've been through, this headspace of like worrying about an 8 championship and chasing that. I haven't chased anything. I just showed up and went, right? So, as I was explaining that to my office in December, they're like, oh gosh, we need to drop the whole chasing 8 thing. Like, we've built a hashtag around this and you've clearly shifted in your head away from it. I'm like, yeah, that's right. So we bagged it and moved on, and then, as the planning took place for the final year, it makes sense with one final time.
Well, hey, we rebranded the hashtag to one final time. Pretty easy rebrand. I know, but chasing 8, you said you don't chase a statistic, but how much fire and drive is there to get that 8th championship this year?
For me, the fire and drive is something I've got to temper. I mean, I love to compete. I love to dig in deep, work hard, put everything that I can into it, and sometimes overwork myself or kind of try too hard in some respects. So again, this year is about keeping it loose, trying to go back to the basics and how I grew up racing, which was just stand on the gas, keep it simple and go fast.
I love that you've been taking photographers to the racetrack each and every week, kind of documenting the experience. One thing that's been really cool is kind of seeing your family at the racetrack. How's it been this year, especially compared to other years, of being able to spend time with them, knowing that you might not get to do this after your NASCAR career's over?
Yeah, we took a big shift in the travel schedule for my family to make sure that they're going to be at a lot more of these races. The tracks are being very generous with opportunities, and in Montana, my family was in the flag stand, which was amazing. So we're taking the kids out of school. Their schools know they're cool with it. We've got a solution there. And we just all want to absorb as much as we can in this final year of Cup.
It's important to get the school note, that's for sure.
For sure.
Are we going to see you in the carpool line next year?
I'm in the carpool line when I'm home. That's my thing.
All the time.
Yeah. Mainly in the mornings. I'm the early riser out of our group, so
not much is going to change. Dale Jr. said that he still keeps in contact with his 2017 team. And I know you've been able to build a bond with this 48 team as the years have gone on. What's it like working with them, and how close do you want to stay with them after NASCAR?
Yeah, this is my family, so it's pretty rare to have a career with one company, one car number, all the consistent things I've had through my career. So this is family, this is home. I might not be here full time or on a regular basis, but my heart will always be with this 48 car.
You're still shaping the future of racing. We just had the chance to talk to Jagger Jones right before this interview, and you're kind of like a mentor to him. How'd you kind of pick him out, and how are you trying to help him?
Well, I raced against his dad. I know his uncle well. His grandfather was a hero of mine as a kid growing up, and their family being in racing like to have all these years. It's just really cool to have the connection and relationship. And Jagger's worked so hard to make a career for himself. I've always had a policy where if anybody's willing to ask or talk to me, I'm more than willing to try to help and offer advice. And Jagger's been one of those guys that has called, and I really enjoy helping him and hope that things work out for him.
The sport has changed so much since you entered in 2002. How has that change in the sport changed how you give him advice and what to move on to in the future?
Yeah, in today's world, it's so tricky, it's so expensive, and if you don't have a budget with you to take to a team, you don't really get that opportunity. Yeah. Granted, money had to take place during my generation coming through, but the manufacturers could influence those decisions pretty heavily. And I was so thankful. I feel like I was one of the last to kind of get through on the manufacturer card, where Chevrolet believed in me and they were out selling me and shopping me to teams, and it really opened the right doors for me.
Well, Chevy believed in the right guy, Jimmie Johnson, one final time here in 2020.